Let's see if I can do this. Yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is not going to be a very happy video. Diablo Immortal came out yesterday on PC. I played it for a couple hours. You know, I wanted to really spend the night talking with my friends and digesting it and thinking about it and not really doing just a full-on pure emotional reaction. And unfortunately, the more I thought about it, the more emotional I became. Some of you may know, most of you probably don't. I actually worked at Zynga, and I worked on Farmville. I was there. I didn't apply to work at Zynga. My company was acquired by them. I remember very distinctly, it was like 2010-ish, the CEO of Zynga, who has a history of being an investment banker, he took most of the company, which was like 1,000 people at that time, and he had a big soiree. You know, if you've seen Silicon Valley, that is the way that they operated. The Silicon Valley is not really satire. It is closer to reality than you would like. And I remember he told the story of how and why he founded Zynga. He was already filthy rich, but he wanted to become a billionaire, and he saw a path towards that. And he was like at his nephew's house or something. He was playing a game of Age of Empires online. He was losing a game of Age of Empires online. And he thought to himself, as investment bankers often do, I am better than this person in real life. I am better than them. I am richer than them. Why can I not use my money to defeat my opponent in a video game? And that was the inception, at least as told to me by the CEO of the company. And I remember looking around the room, and you know, in their defense, there were a fair number of people that had the same look on their face that I did, but not everyone. To me, you know, if we go all the way back to the history of horse armor in Oblivion and all that, the uproar around spending $5 on cosmetic armor, how far we've come and how much people have been programmed to the point now where Blizzard is so brazen that they will release a video game under the guise and the intellectual property of something beloved, such as Diablo, and absolutely just rub their disgusting money-grubbing hands all over it into the dirt to the point that it becomes just a shell and a mockery of everything that we may have grown up loving. Just a little bit of my history here, just my credentials. So it is, you know, here's my Protoss shirt. here's my Tracer Funko Pop even. I don't even collect Funko Pops. Here's my Hearthstone mug. I even have a Heroes of the Storm hoodie somewhere. I was actually one of the best Warcraft 3 players in the world. I was going to join a team in Korea to play Warcraft 3 professionally. I've loved Blizzard games ever since Warcraft 1. One of my most, I tell the story on stream once in a while, one of my most memorable video game experiences is when I, you know, on the same level of seeing Wolfenstein 3D or Doom 1, back in the day, it was the first time I saw Warcraft orcs and humans, and just like the real-time strategy, the fantasy environment, that entire world, and just like how awesome that was up until, you know, dedicating a fair number of years of my life to playing Warcraft 3. Grubby has a video where he, you know, he starts tearing up when he thinks about Warcraft 3 Reforged, which, you know, echoes my sentiments very closely. We've seen the writing on the wall. Ever since they joined Activision, they've become a publicly traded company that they have fiduciary responsibility. In fact, they must do the thing that makes them the most money. That is actually the law. Otherwise, they are delinquent in their responsibilities and they would get fired and just another person would rise up. This is just the reality of monetization and large corporations. And in fact, literally the only thing that could stop it. Yeah, you can rail against Bobby Kotick and awful people like that as much as you want, but unfortunately or fortunately or whatever, you know, I'm not even taking it. I think this is, in my opinion, it's objective truth. The only thing that could actually stop this is regulation or like an absolute consolidated front, you know, of people to actually stop, you know, buying into this stuff, literally buying into this stuff. But since, you know, I've been there. I was at Zynga working on Farmville. We literally hired project managers directly out of Vegas that they have decades and decades of research, the gambling commission and, the whole gaming and gambling scene in Las Vegas. They have decades of psychological research, understanding exactly how to trick and program your brains. And yeah, the writing has been on the wall for video games for a while. I guess horse armor was the first little ding in that armor there, literally. And then we've seen the creep of the most disturbing thing, honestly, is the fact that I saw someone, say, "Hey, monetization for Diablo Immortal, it's awful," on Twitter yesterday morning, and there were a lot of people that were defending it and saying, "Hey, this is just the way that mobile monetization is. That's just the way it is." And okay, I mean, I don't want to make like a World War II reference, but I mean, we're going straight. That's a race to the bottom, right? Like, I mean, okay. Honestly, that just makes me sad, right? The fact that they are now programmed to the point and that they are defending this behavior. After playing Diablo Immortal for a couple hours yesterday, and here's the sad thing, the actual devs that worked on that I'm always gonna say for a mobile game, for a mobile game, even playing it on PC, it was clearly like they didn't even change the UI or anything. But it felt good and crispy. It generally had that Blizzard polish with at least like the look and the feel, and I was able to play my Crusader. It felt a lot like Diablo 3. I was able to play my Crusader, which is my favorite class from Diablo 3. It was already tugging on those heartstrings a little bit. And then I beat Leoric, and it said, "Congratulations, you beat Leoric," which, Eoval, they're literally just throwing in Charcy and all the characters that you already know to get you invested. Without any creativity. But they said, "Congratulations, you get no loot from this dungeon except for like a couple items. But if you want the good loot from the dungeon, oh boy, do we have the deal for you. A limited time bundle. Buy it right now. You have 1 day to, whatever it was, you have a limited time to purchase this bundle. Congratulations for finishing the tutorial boss." And then beyond that, like there's plenty of other great videos out there that people have gone really, really deep, showing that the ceiling for monetization is like something like it's like $100,000 or something absurd, or like $1 million is some number that's just astronomical. And especially since the game has PvP, there is literal pay to win for upgrading your character, getting guaranteed legendary drops for the legendary gems. And it's not even like Lost Ark, which is already bad enough. At least Lost Ark, you can be competitive being a free-to-play player. In this game, apparently a free-to-play player won't even see like 1% of the power that a pay-to-win player will have. You will never achieve it. It is basically statistically impossible to get close to a pay-to-win player. And there's PvP and all that, so you can, free to play and literally free to lose. So yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go into too much detail with that. Game felt fun to play, but I always had, as a mobile game, but I always had this nagging feeling in the back of my head. I got constantly prompted for spend your money and all that. I've been sad about Blizzard for a long time. I think anyone that's been following has been. They went from this company that would only release a game when it was done. Like if you don't know the story of StarCraft 1, StarCraft was originally just going to be like a palette swap of Warcraft 2. And there were actually a couple of images that were posted that were put in magazines. You don't post in magazines. But I remember when I was younger and seeing those images like, oh, StarCraft is coming out, and it looked just like Warcraft but in space. And they said, you know what, this isn't good enough. We care about our reputation. We are only going to make top tier A+ 10 out of 10 games. They scrapped the entire, like they had worked on it for like a year, scrapped the entire thing, started from scratch, made a new engine, and we got the beginning of an era with StarCraft and Brood War. The original World of Warcraft and StarCraft 2, and just, amazing, amazing games. Diablo 2 as well in there. When you're holding on to something really awesome from your childhood that made you happy and was special, you're always holding out hope that it will turn around and things will get better. And yeah, I did check out Zizern's video this morning. Yeah, he said, this is even making me sad about Diablo 4. And I mean, I'm going to take it a step further. The video, the title and thumbnail for me here are not clickbait. I am I'm done.